One thing that's amazing about Huawei is their ability to come up with new and innovative ways of doing things. And this in front of us is no different. This is the Huawei FreeClip, and it features a C-bridge design with open ear technology, which we'll talk about more in a bit to see what that actually means. But first, let's open this up and see what you actually get. So here we are, this is it in purple version. It's also available in black, and right away this case supports wireless charging. You have a LED indicator light on the front, and also this has a sound indicator, so every time it connects to something it will indicate using sound as well, which is pretty cool. On the bottom we have a USB-C port, which means you can charge it back up using that USB-C cable that's in the box, which is nice and portable to carry around also. We open this up, but before we do that, I love this purple color. It's got this translucent finishing, and it's also got a button on the side for pairing it and stuff like that. So it also supports wireless pairing, so which means you can also just pop it open, put it next to a device that's supported, and this will automatically pick it up for pairing, or you can just pair it the good old-fashioned way using Bluetooth. And then we just open this up, and we can see the pair of FreeClip in there itself. Can already hear that sound going off, and it's already flashing there to let me know that's ready for pairing. Before we get into pairing it and also things like sound quality, let's take a look at this design, because there's more than meets the eyes here, and it's pretty interesting the way they are. The FreeClips will give you up to 8 hours of listening experience or playback time on its own, but the case allows you to actually use this for up to 36 hours, giving you a long battery life, and it supports fast charge as well, so you can charge this up very quickly. In fact, 10 minutes of charge will give you 3 hours of battery life, and it takes 40 minutes to get this back to 100% again. But let's get further into this earbuds, because there's a lot to talk through here. So first thing first, if I just take this out of the casing, you can see that nice and easy to take out. It's attached to the case using those magnetic experience in there, or magnetic feature. It also means that it's just nice and secure in the case, as it is not going to fall out. This is also IP54 water and dust resistant, so the earbuds themselves, they are IP54 dust and resistant rated. And then one thing that's cool here, before I carry on, is you can see that I took out the right side and I took out the left side. You can also just place it on the other side as well, and it'll still fit perfectly fine with no issues. So with this one, there's no clear indicator to let you know there's left or right. But what's pretty cool is using software and some software magic in here, this can also tell when it's in the right ear or the left ear. So it doesn't matter which one you put where. You'll be able to, the software will be able to tell you which one's where and adjust accordingly and send the right sound signal to the right ears the way they should be. And I think this is the first time this has actually happened in the sense that you can take one out, put it in whichever ear you want, so you don't have to scramble and try and find which one's right or which one's left. You can simply just get it out. You can mix it up as much as you want, and then literally just put them on and let the software do the rest in terms of figuring out which one's left and which one's right ear, which is pretty innovative. So closer look at the FreeClips. We have our acoustic ball here, and on the other side we have the comfort bean, because it looks like a bit like a bean-shaped design, as you can see there, which is pretty cool, as you can see. And then this has a TPU finishing, so that reduces smudge, and also in terms of like discoloration and stuff like that, it protects against stuff like that, which is really nice. And then we look at this loop here, this C bridge design. This is quite flexible, and this is also great because it just fits perfectly into your on your ear, on this like cartilage in your ears, because regardless of which one or which shape size you have, it will just sort of fit perfectly in the way that it should fit. And that's because this actually uses a memory nickel wire, which adjusts to the shape of your ears in real time. So you don't have to then try and bend it or anything like that. It just adjusts as it should, which is, again, innovative and pretty smart. For your listening experience, this supports SBC, it supports AAC and L2HC and LC3 codecs. The L2HC is supported when you're using a Huawei device, and the Huawei device has to be running EMUI 13.0 or later. This is pretty lightweight as well, which means you can wear this for a long period of time. It's, you know, IP54 water and dust resistant, which means, again, you can take it out running, you can go for a gym sesh without worrying about this getting sweaty or anything like that. It just works really well. It's very durable and very functional. Inside the acoustic ball, we have a 10.8 millimeters dual magnet high sensitivity driver unit in there, so you get a really good sound quality and just clarity in terms of what you're listening to and the sound experience. In terms of making phone calls and stuff like that, it has 2 microphones and a VPU wind noise cancellation design. It also has something called reverse sound field acoustic system, and all that means is it reduces sound leakage when you're listening to your music, which is really good. It just makes it more immersive, and also you're not going to be disturbing other people around you when you listen to music. I think one of the main points of having this is it's comfortable, it's a cool design, and it's open ear, which means with that you'll be able to still hear what's going on around you. You can listen to music and still be able to be aware of what's going on around you. So if you're cycling, for example, you'll be able to focus on the road ahead of you, hear when someone beeps at you, but still be able to enjoy your music and still be able to speak to people when you need to make phone calls. This is also touch capacitive, so you'll be able to do gestures like double tap to skip or triple tap and stuff like that. We'll go through that when we go through the app as well, because everything is in there in terms of configuration of the FreeClip. Speaking of crystal clear calls as well, you also have something called deep neural network in there, which is designed to basically filter out just ambient noise to make sure that people can hear you clearly when making phone calls. So that combined with a wind reduction microphone that's in there, or windproof microphone that's in there, also means all that combined together, software is doing some work in there as well, so people can hear you clearly, and you can hear them clearly as well with that driver that we have in here. Now, I know you're wondering, how do you actually fit this in your ear or on here? So because they're clip on, right? So how do they actually work? So basically you just grab them and you just pop them in like so, and then you get sound feedback that lets you know that you've popped them on, and that way you know that they're on. It's ready to start listening to music, and it fits so perfectly and is not moving anywhere. It's just nice and secure. It's actually amazing if you ask me, and you can see the other ear as well, sits there. It's actually quite fashionable as well, so you can have it in this purple version, or you can get it in black as well, depending on what you fancy. So even if you have big ears or small ears like me, then it just fits well. There's no issues there at all. So regardless of your ear canal size or anything like that you probably usually worry about, this eliminates that. One thing I also found out or thought about is the fact that if you're prone to things like ear infections and stuff like that, this will actually be a really good option for you to have, and it just works really well. Let's talk about connecting it to your device, because this also supports dual connectivity, which means you can connect it to 2 devices, for example, and seamlessly switch music between the 2, which in this day and age, most people have multiple devices like your laptop, your phones. So you want to be able to switch between your laptop, for example, and your phone, providing you're running iOS, Android, or Windows, I believe. All right, so once you've connected your FreeClip to your smartphone, then you can see the software and see what you can select. So once you get into the actual device itself, you can see the battery life that we've got here. So we can see left and right are 100%. You can see the case is 100% as well. In fact, if you take one of them out, you can see that it then splits it up. So we have 100% left, 100% right, and then 100% for the case. Then we can go into Connection Center, which is where you can manage your dual connectivity settings. So you can turn on multi-connect, you can switch it on or off. So it's on by default, and then your preferred device, you can have it to be automatically, or you can set the device itself so that every time it knows that that's the first device to connect to by default. And then we scroll down, we have a sound effect. So for example, this is basically like your equalizer. So we have things like your default settings, we have elevate, treble boost, and voices as well. So depending on what kind of music you're listening to, you can select accordingly. We go to the bottom area, then we can see things like gestures. So then we can adjust what happens when you tap things. So either side, when there's a call, you can use the gesture to answer or end phone call. You can just put none. So if you don't want to have anything happen, you can do that. When not on a call, the left, you can do play pause. Right, you can do play pause as well. You can select different things. So left can do next song, previous song, wake voice assistant, or you can say nothing. So what I normally do is have one side to be play pause, and then maybe the other side to be something like next song, because then I can go to triple tap and adjust that as well. So because I've already done left song, I can change one side to be previous song instead. So I can triple tap to go previous song and double tap to go to next song on the right side. But again, the beauty of that is you're able to adjust that to suit your preference in terms of what kind of gesture you choose day to day to make your life easier. We go back out, we got things like find earphones. So if you ever lose them, you'll be able to play sound and you'll let you know where they are. Really nice. Nice subtle sound as well, but distinctive enough to be able to find your device. And then you can update it as well if there's any software updates available. And then we can go into settings where you can have things like wear detection. So when you wear it, it knows that you've got it in your, you've clipped it on, and then it starts to listen experience. You have low audio latency mode. You have things like auto switch left and right, which is on by default. So that way I can easily just take any of these and put it in whichever ear I wanted, like I said at the start, and then this will detect what needs to happen. So we then have things like your charging case tone, so it lets you know when it's charging, and then or when you connect, for example, and you have extra media volume, which I don't switch on because I don't want to damage my earring. But this is rarely going to do that because they're not in ears and they're not over here, so it's not fully covering your earring. So this just allows for stuff to be increased if you want a bit more volume in your listening experience. But that's basically it. It's nice and simple to use, nice and straightforward. It's not overwhelming, and it has all the things that you need to get this set up, customized to your listening experience. What do they sound like though? Okay, so how does it sound? I think it sounds really good. It's very, very wholesome in terms of just being able to hear acoustically all the sounds that I'm playing. So I can hear the sound clearly, there's clarity there, there's a good level of bass, not too bassy, there's a good level of treble there as well. But for me, the main thing is the clarity, because when listening to my music, I want to hear the words clearly. I want to be able to still feel the groove whilst I'm listening to my music. So this does exactly that, which is really good. And ultimately, because these are, because of the open ear listening technology, I can also hear what's still going on around me. So whilst I was listening to music, I can hear the creaks in the table that I've got in front of me whilst I'm moving around. I can still hear what's going on around me from my peripherals. So that way I'm still fully aware of my surroundings, which is really good. Next thing is, for me overall, it's very comfortable. Like, it feels feather lightweight in terms of not even knowing that it's there. It just feels very comfortable to wear. I can see myself wearing this just around the studio as if they're just parts of my day to day. And they're easy to use in terms of connectivity, very straightforward as well. Great battery life, up to 36 hours of battery life. Making and receive phone calls was great as well. I made some phone calls on this, very nice and clear. They can hear me clearly, I can hear them clearly, which is very important. And also just generally great piece of tech. I think they're fashionable as well. And you have IP54 water and dust resistant on the earbuds, so that way I can actually wear them running and for some sporting events as well. But ultimately, really good sound experience, and this is quite innovative. The touch capacitive function works really well as well. Very, very responsive. I wish I could control the volume from here without having to touch my device. Unfortunately, you can't do that on here. You can only do things like skip track and play pause and phone calls and stuff like that, but it still works very well for what it's designed to do. Over to you. Let me know what you think. What do you think of the design? Is this something that you would wear? Let me know in the comments below. And also, if you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer those for you. And thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.